It's harder to do some of this if it's not related to language and math. You know what I mean? Because it's not necessarily, even though it maybe should be part of a school improvement plan, it's not, it's mandated through education strategies and frameworks that it would be, but it's more challenging as teachers to find ways to do this, and without sort of you know, having, like, there's an issue of accountability in terms of how can we do it and being it seen as being as valued as it should be.
I know even within my school, as teachers, it's what we bring. What are we comfortable with? I know one of my best friends who teaches grade 7 is very uncomfortable with the sex ed part of phys ed. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes will trade off with someone. But that's a huge piece for me too, because it's just it reflects on everything. Because once again, it's engagement. I can skip over something I'm uncomfortable with, but at the same time, who loses? You know, it's my student. And for my population, it's a lot easier to work with multiculturalism and diversity because I have that.
When they go home, how was your day at school? Well, this is what we talked about. This is where the trouble can begin.
Yeah. But once again, I think it's that engagement piece with regards to the parents and letting them know, you know what, this institution is all about education. Mm-hmm. And education, for me, is about challenging what's out there, what's in here. Mm-hmm. And with regards to my classroom, it's just, this is a safe zone. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, you know, parents, I think, need to realize that it's just like, this is what we do. You know, this is why some girls can come to school, you know, and some girls can't. It's the reason, because in Canada, we have a law that says everyone has, you know, the right to an education, no matter your sex or your gender or what have you.
Again, I think as teachers, if you do find that, you know, you have dominance or you don't have that diverse, you have to be the one to maybe lead that and teach that way, put that in your practice, right?
And in that, just noting there's a distinction between, for example, teaching about others and engaging in critical discussions.
Yes, and well, we had I know already we had a critical discussion about why is Port Perry not as culturally diverse as other areas? Why is this happening? Why are other people not coming here when they immigrate into Canada? Why aren't we growing north? And we talked about that because there wasn't services to help them in our communities as much. With the language barriers, with their religion, it's safer to be where they have community members that can support them.
Yeah. And I do stuff all the time on a wide variety of cultures and heritage festivals, all of that, trying to be a little bit deeper than kind of eat your way through culture or whatever, which I do that as well. We have multicultural politics and stuff, but so even doing it all the time, I've had students say, well, why are we learning about the Lunar New Year? Because no one in our class is, you know, and even, you know, you don't always know who's represented in your class. You don't necessarily know whether there are Aboriginal students in your classroom, so doing some of these things might bring out their sort of desire to self-identify.
The now what? And these are, I think, part of this and part of this combined makes that so what into a now what. So now I can get I give the tools. We teach them how to be citizens. We teach them about their identity. We teach them about structures. What do they do with those tools now? So we've given them those tools, and now they have the responsibility and they have the ability to be able to move on and help them out of in those, you know, poverty, or they were able to fight racism.
I use these the most when I was in university in my faculty of ed. You know, and I look at teachers now, we don't have a complete set of the Ontario curriculum because we can get it offline and we just print off what we need, which is usually our curriculum, our expectations, and we don't look through the pages necessarily for all these interesting little tidbits that makes your program so much easier to deliver, you know, and look at all the cross-cultural connections, because sometimes, you know, we look at what we have to teach and, okay, we just do social studies and social studies. When math comes around, we do math and math. We don't cross. We don't look at the Egyptians and how they affected math, or, you know, how they built all these amazing pyramids. And you can't possibly look at it and say, how can I not connect this with math? Like, if it wasn't for math, they couldn't build these things. You know, so if we paid a little more attention, I think, of what is in here, I think it would be a lot easier to deliver the curriculum.